When you uncover the ancient past, you sometimes uncover an ancient mystery as well. Some discoveries can be explained without much difficulty, but others raise far more questions than answers. Despite everything we've learned about the distant past, many secrets remain hidden from us. And this video will show you exactly what we mean. From massive to miniature, every discovery you're about to see has baffled experts and remained totally shrouded in mystery. Let's begin this list with number 15. The Well of Hell for generations. People living near Yemen's famous sinkhole known as the Well of Barhout told stories about what lay at the bottom. Some believed there was a hidden treasure waiting below. Some said this well belonged to demons or the dead. The stories became so widespread that many locals avoided this place entirely. And the well certainly looks mysterious enough to inspire legends. Just look at it. Its opening measures roughly 30 meters across, dropping more than 100 meters into darkness before widening near the bottom. Few people were willing to descend into it, and for a long time, nobody knew what was hidden below. Then, some experts decided to find out. The expedition revealed a landscape filled with cave formations, waterfalls, and rare geological features created over thousands of years. They also found what may have inspired the old treasure stories. Inside the cave were unusual formations known as cave pearls. These smooth mineral spheres often possess a golden appearance, making them easy to mistake for gold. As for the strange smell mentioned in local legends, the explanation turned out to be less demonic. Birds frequently become trapped inside the sinkhole, and their remains accumulate below. The legends were exaggerated, but not entirely born from dreams. Number 14. Book of the Dead and Royal Burials. Ancient Egyptians approached death differently from most cultures. Well, they didn't see it as an ending. They saw it as a transition that needed preparation, guidance, and gold. And that belief clearly explains why some burials contain texts known now as the Book of the Dead. Despite the chilling title, it wasn't a single book in the usual sense. There were different versions, tailored to each owner and filled with spells, instructions, prayers, and protective formulas that helped them navigate the dangers of the afterlife. Royal burials often included especially elaborate examples. Scribes spent days copying passages onto papyrus scrolls, decorating them with illustrations that transformed religious ideas into vivid visual scenes. Every section served a purpose. Some passages protected against supernatural threats. Others helped the deceased gain entry into the next world or successfully face judgment before divine beings. These texts reveal a culture deeply concerned with what came after death. Wealthy people, like the Silver Pharaoh, Tut, or Seti I, invested considerable resources in ensuring they would not enter eternity unprepared. So, what did ancient Egyptians afraid of? Did they know something about death that we don't? Number 13. The salt mummies of Zanjan. The men working inside the Chehrabad salt mine weren't expecting to make an archaeological discovery. They were there for the same reason miners had gone there for generations. Salt. That's what the mountain was known for. That's what everyone expected to find. Then, in 1993, something appeared in the mine that stopped everyone cold. It wasn't a tool. It wasn't pottery. It wasn't even a skeleton. What they found looked disturbingly human. Hair was still attached to it. Skin was still visible. And a beard remained on the face. For a brief moment, it could have been mistaken for someone who had died recently. The truth was much stranger. The man had been dead for around 1,700 years. The salt surrounding his body had preserved him in a way that almost seemed impossible. Even his leather boots survived. A gold earring still hung from one ear. Later discoveries revealed that he wasn't alone. At least 6 individuals have been recovered from the mine. Most appear to have died during tunnel collapses that buried them beneath tons of salt. So, who were these people? What actually happened inside that ancient mine? Number 12. The Berber granaries of Morocco banks are usually imagined as modern institutions filled with paperwork, security systems, and financial records. High in the mountains of Morocco, however, stands evidence that the basic idea of banking may be far older than we think. The ancient Berber granaries served a purpose that extended far beyond storing harvested crops. Built by Amazigh communities centuries ago, these fortified structures functioned as secure repositories for valuables, important possessions, and community resources. Families stored grain, jewelry, precious metals, legal documents, and records of ownership within heavily protected chambers. Access was carefully controlled. Only authorized individuals could enter, and the operation of the granaries was governed by written laws that regulated their use. In many respects, they performed the same role as our financial institutions, safeguarding wealth and protecting assets from theft or destruction. Their true origins remain uncertain. Historians know they are extremely old, but the exact date of their creation has vanished from the historical record. That uncertainty only adds to their fascination. Number 11. The medieval computer of England. This thing is billed as the oldest English scientific instrument. And of course, it doesn't look like a computer. It's just a small piece of copper alloy shaped like a quarter circle, small enough to fit in the palm of your hand. But 700 years ago, this device performed calculations that most people depended on to understand time itself. Known as a horary quadrant, it was made in 1311 and used to tell the time by tracking the sun's position in the sky. And engraved across its surface were lines that divided daylight into 12 equal periods, meaning an hour in summer lasted longer than an hour in winter. There is another movable pointer which helped calculate the date of Easter, one of the most important events in the medieval calendar. Historians call it a medieval computer. It was used by merchants, scholars, and senior churchmen to obtain the knowledge that shaped their daily lives. But still, the exact story behind it is a mystery. No one knows who owned it or made it. The instrument survived, but its master vanished from history. Number 10. The forgotten rocket weapon of Korea. The history of rocket warfare did not begin in the modern age. Long before artillery batteries dominated battlefields and long before missiles crossed continents, Korean engineers created a weapon that must have looked terrifying to anyone unfortunate enough to stand in front of it. Known as the Hwacha, the device resembled a large wooden cart fitted with rows of launch tubes. Each tube held a rocket-propelled arrow capable of carrying fire and destruction across surprising distances. When released together, dozens or even hundreds of projectiles could streak toward enemy formations within seconds. The weapon played a significant role during the Japanese invasions of Korea in the 16th century. Facing overwhelming odds, Korean defenders relied on ingenuity as much as manpower. The Hwacha provided exactly that advantage, transforming traditional rocket technology into a battlefield system capable of devastating advancing troops. Its existence raises an interesting question. How many people associate sophisticated rocket launchers with the 16th century? Well, very few. But Korean engineers were experimenting with concepts that would not become commonplace elsewhere until centuries later. In short, the Hwacha arrive before the world is ready to appreciate them. Number 9. The extinct mineral. Most gemstones can be found in multiple locations if someone searches long enough. This one broke all the rules. The story began in Myanmar when an unusual crystal appeared in a local market. It weighed only 1.6 carats. It was small enough to fit on a fingertip. But then, scientists became interested after examining its structure. The mineral was then identified as kyothwite, one of the rarest substances ever discovered. Its chemical composition and crystal arrangement were unlike anything else known on Earth. Researchers searched for comparable examples and found nothing. That reality makes the stone strangely weird. Gold can be mined. Diamonds can be collected. Entire mountains contain common minerals. Kyothwite stands alone. Today, the crystal is preserved inside a museum collection, but its existence continues to raise questions. Every mineral tells a story about the geological forces that created it. The problem here is simple. Nobody fully understands the event that produced this one. It's just one and only. Number 8. The mysterious Westray Wife. The Orkney Islands have been occupied for thousands of years, but the identity of their earliest inhabitants remains frustratingly elusive. Whoever settled these remote islands left behind clues suggesting they lived very differently from the people of mainland Scotland. That mystery deepened in 2009 when archaeologists uncovered a tiny sandstone figurine during excavations on Westray. Known today as the Westray Wife, the artifact is believed to be around 5,000 years old and is widely regarded as the oldest known representation of a human face ever discovered in the British Isles. The discovery became even more intriguing when researchers later found a second figurine nearby. Made of clay and missing its head, it appeared to belong to the same mysterious tradition. For years, experts assumed the original carving depicted a lady because of markings thought to represent breasts. More recent analysis suggests those features may actually be clothing fasteners. If so, the figure's identity remains unknown. Who created these carvings, what they symbolized, and why they were buried continues to puzzle experts today. Number 7. The City of the Dead Dogs. Long before dogs became household pets, they were linked to something far more mysterious. In ancient Egypt, dogs were closely associated with Anubis, the jackal-headed god who guided souls into the afterlife. And because of that connection, some dogs were treated almost as sacred beings. Then archaeologists made a discovery that seemed impossible. Beneath the sands of Egypt lay a huge cemetery filled with dogs. Not hundreds or thousands, but millions. Row after row of animal burials stretched underground near temples dedicated to Anubis. Many of these dogs had been placed there as religious offerings by pilgrims seeking favor from the god of the dead. But the scale raises unsettling questions. Breeding, raising, transporting, and burying so many animals would have required an entire industry operating in the shadows of the ancient world. Who organized it? How many generations spent their lives supplying these sacred burials? The dogs are still there just like they left them, but their owners are gone. Number 6. Thou shalt not steal. But someone did. Some stories sound too ironic to be real. This one happened in a small English village called Little Steeping. Sometime before February 23, 2025, thieves entered St. Andrew's Church and quietly removed several historic paintings. There were no smashed windows, no damaged doors, and no obvious signs of forced entry. It was as if someone had slipped in, taken what they wanted, and vanished. Among the stolen items was a framed copy of the Ten Commandments, and right there, written on the artwork itself, was one command that could not have been clearer: thou shalt not steal. The thieves also took a painting of the Lord's Prayer. Both artworks carried deep sentimental value for the church community, even though their monetary value remains unknown. Church warden Basil Harwood called the theft ironic, but the story becomes stranger the more you think about it. Out of everything inside the church, why take those specific paintings? Perhaps the greatest mystery isn't what was stolen, but why. Number 5. The Bronze Age sundial and moondial. A weathered slab of stone discovered in Russia might not look impressive at first. Most people would probably walk past it without a second thought. Archaeologists, however, saw something totally different. They believed they were looking at evidence of astronomical knowledge that stretched back thousands of years into the Bronze Age. The stone contains a carefully arranged pattern of depressions carved into its surface. For years, their purpose remained uncertain, like the Olmec giant heads. But then, detailed analysis revealed that the markings correspond with celestial events, including sunrise, moonrise, and seasonal changes visible in the sky. If that interpretation is correct, the slab served as both a sundial and a moondial. Such a device would have allowed ancient communities to track time, monitor seasonal cycles, and better understand the movements of heavenly bodies above them. The implications are remarkable. Agriculture, navigation, and ritual life, all depended on accurate observations of the sky. Now let's move to number 4. Sangxingdui treasure trove. Ancient history is rarely as complete as it appears, and few discoveries have exposed that reality more clearly than the treasures of Sangxingdui. In 2021, archaeologists working in China found more than 500 artifacts buried beneath the earth for nearly 3 millennia. Discovered at the Sangxingdui site in Sichuan province, the collection included remarkable objects crafted from gold, jade, ivory, and bronze. Among the most astonishing finds was a fragmented golden mask believed to have belonged to a powerful religious leader. Yet the true mystery extends far beyond a single artifact. The craftsmanship, artistic style, and symbolism displayed by these objects differ strikingly from those associated with other early Chinese civilizations. Many experts believe the artifacts belong to a sophisticated culture that developed independently alongside ancient China, yet somehow vanished from historical memory. Who were these people? Why did their traditions disappear? And how could a civilization capable of producing such unique masterpieces remain hidden for thousands of years? Even today, the Sangxingdui discoveries continue to challenge historians and puzzle experts searching for answers. Number 3. The ancient beauty tool. Most people imagine the distant past as a world focused entirely on survival. Beauty rarely came to mind. Then archaeologists uncovered something unexpected. At Yelova Hike near Izmir, researchers found a small carved stone object dating back more than 8,200 years. It measures less than 10 centimeters long and looks so ordinary that it could easily be overlooked among thousands of other artifacts. But its tip told a different story. Tiny traces of black pigment still remained. Tests revealed the substance was likely manganese oxide, a material commonly used in ancient cosmetics. That means this simple stone may have been an eyeliner applicator, used thousands of years before many famous civilizations had even appeared. The object raises a strangely human image. Someone held it in their hand. Someone carefully applied dark lines around their eyes before stepping into the world outside. But what makes the discovery fascinating is this question: what did they want others to see when they looked back? Number 2. The mysterious fossilized footprint. Some discoveries ignite debate the moment they are revealed, and few have generated more controversy than a strange imprint discovered near Delta, Utah. Researchers examining an ancient fossil site reported finding what appeared to be a human-like footprint preserved alongside a trilobite, a marine creature believed to have vanished more than 250 million years ago. The apparent contradiction immediately attracted attention. According to accepted scientific timelines, humans appeared long after trilobites disappeared from Earth's oceans. Yet the imprint seemed to display pressure patterns resembling a footprint, leading some observers to argue it even resembled the sole of a shoe. If that interpretation were accurate, it would overturn fundamental assumptions about the history of life on Earth. Unsurprisingly, most scientists remain highly skeptical and suggest the formation is likely the result of unusual geological processes rather than an actual footprint. Still, the mystery refuses to fade. Number 1. Circus Maximus. Most people remember Circus Maximus as a stadium, but hidden within its enormous scale is a story about engineering that rarely receives attention. For over 1,000 years, this colossal structure dominated Rome, serving as the center of some of the empire's most important public events. The arena could accommodate crowds that rival many modern venues. Constructing something on that scale required far more than simple architecture. It demanded advanced knowledge of foundations, crowd management, structural support, drainage systems, and large-scale urban planning. Generation after generation expanded and rebuilt the complex, refining its design while maintaining its core function. The result was a venue capable of hosting massive chariot races and spectacles attended by tens of thousands of people. But the site also carried a darker legacy. In the year 140, part of the upper seating collapsed during an event, killing more than 1,000 spectators according to ancient accounts. Well, if you found this video interesting, be sure to like it and subscribe. Thanks for watching, we'll catch you later.